Alright, what is up YouTube? This is Space Captain again with another battle report of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Today we have match play of 1,500 points, Skaven versus the Undead. This is the third game of a narrative campaign. I'm playing against one of my good friends. We decided to take a campaign from the Monsters Lair scenario to the Raise the Monolith scenario. And now we have a glimpse of the Undying King Nagash. So, a little bit of backstory. Immediately following the destruction of the monolith, the sky grew dark. Lightning crashed to the earth, turning sand to glass as a warpstorm had been stirred by the great magical feedback unleashed from the warp. Seer Yitzkrae orders scurry flee to his Vermin brethren. Only he knows of the coming danger. As a few clansmen are swept up into the whirling vortex of energy, a short and excruciating end to their foul lives, they are incinerated from the inside out, as immense pressure pulls them apart from every socket and every joint. The surviving Skaven make haste to a nearby burrow in the cliff face, drilled just beyond the arc of the mountain, for a strategic escape. Allowing just enough time to get to shelter, the exhausted guard, wavering next to their commander, awaiting order and terrified, form in line once more to cover the Grey Seer. What is next, great leader? A command of the Storm Vermin guard squeaked, too terrified to take its blood-red eyes off of the vortex enveloping the mountainside in front of them. Eyes rolled back, the Grey Seer began the sacred blood ritual. Slicing his left wrist, a foul black fermented liquid began to ooze to his gnarled fingertips. Drawing out the sacred symbols in the dirt with blood was the Grey Seer hunched over in the center of the circle. Spewing foul incantations, he retched up into the air, hovering with glowing green eyes in a twisted figure. A Vermin Lord arose out of the blood circle, bestowing great magical strength to the seer. All other vermin in the burrow cowered in fear of their leader's might. Struggling to decide what they fear most in this situation, upon the arrival of the Lord Corruptor, one last bolt of lightning struck through the vortex. After a blinding flash of light, the world became dark. For a moment, no light existed. Only the vast void of night. Then from the center of the vortex a flicker. The flicker then began to grow and take, phasing in and out to a shape unfamiliar to most mortals. The Undying King had arrived in part, projecting his image across great distance to exact revenge on the cowardly Skaven. Yitzkrae barked orders at the remaining guard. The plan is as planned. Take the essence of the spectre. Great mystery we will learn of death. Wasting little time, a horde erupts from the burrows behind the guard, ready to serve their tyrannical seer or face the wrath of a corrupter vermin lord. Moving forward to charge against the likeliness of Nagash, the Skaven now have an opportunity to wound the Undying King. This is indeed a matter of life or death. Here we have the setup. We don't have any magical terrain or anything like that, but since we did set the point limit to 1,500 points, this is basically what we have. So we have, on his side, Nagash, a corpse cart, and a battle line of 3 units of 10 zombies. Basically, you have to take a battle line. He decided to keep his forces very minimal, so that he could maximize his summoning ability, but then also, with the addition of the corpse cart, it makes it so that his zombies are just a little bit more viable. So, definitely really smart to do that, especially for such a low point count with such a high point cost. On my side, we have 3 units of clan rats on the left side. We have a unit of 10 that are black, a unit of 10 that are silver, and then the one in the center is a unit of 30 clan rats in the center, with 2 wind mortars behind them and also a warp fire thrower. To the right, a unit of 20 storm vermin. To the right of that is a hell pit abomination, a vermin lord to the right of my warlord. Alright, so here we go. We go ahead and roll off for turn 1. Basically, he winds up getting the first turn. So, this is after everything. He winds up summoning a bunch of his, I believe they're called Blood Knights. A bunch of Blood Knights, a bunch of Vargeis, and then also something that he did was he condensed his zombies into 1 unit of 30. So now he gets a lot more benefits because he has a unit of 30. For every additional 10, he gets a +1 to his to hit, and then I'm pretty sure that eventually he gets +1s to wound. But right now, just with that, if he was hitting originally on 6s, now he's going to be hitting on either 4s or 3s, and that's significantly better. And then that with conjunction of like the corpse cart, making them a little bit more survivable, things like that. Definitely really good play on his turn, but I was expecting it. So what I do is I go ahead and I see that he's really trying to swing heavy on my left side. And that's okay, because definitely my right side is my strong side. So I'm trying to swing with that. And just getting everything churning into the very center, I decide to put a unit of 10 clan rats right there. I keep the unit of 20 clan rats kind of back because I'm using them as basically a screen for my artillery. The warp fire thrower, the 2 globadiers, or poison wind mortars. You know, I'm going to have them back there just to kind of provide a little bit more support rather than just kind of run them in the center. And also with this, it makes it a little bit more enticing for him to spread himself out a little more rather than just, you know, smash all of his guys together and then, you know, not really have much room to move for anybody. We go ahead and roll off for turn 2. The undead wind up getting the first turn, which is good because, you know, if I would have gotten a double turn, that would have been pretty gnarly, for sure. So here we go. We have turn 2. This is the end result of what turn 2 was. So he is thinking, alright, I can't summon anymore. I'm kind of out of range for a lot of spells, other than buffs. So let's just go ahead and start charging. So that's exactly what he does. He moves up a lot of his guys. He, I think, summons a few more zombies and, of course, a unit of 10 direwolves. So it's looking pretty dicey for those 10 silver clan rats. But luckily, I still have, you know, I have people behind them. I have my main swingers, and then also there's that hell pit right there on the ridge. So I have my hell pit strategically placed about 3 inches away from the corner, well, less than 3 inches away from the corner of my clan rats, because I'm thinking I kind of want to use them as bait. So if it winds up being that they get charged, I could potentially sneak my hell pit into a combat that otherwise would have been avoided, because otherwise why wouldn't they just, you see where I'm going with this? Instead of them just charging the hell pit, you know, they might be trying to take out supporting units, but I basically take that completely out of the equation with my ability to pile in with the hell pit. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that the hell pit does reign in movement, but I'm pretty sure he's able to pile in. It would be very interesting to hear otherwise. So here he has all of his movements, and then we have the charges. So he winds up piling in, making a charge on that unit of clan rats, and as you can see, he winds up doing quite a bit of damage to them. I think he wound up killing like 4 or 5 of them, and then like 2 or 3 more wound up running away. So They're not going to be here for very much longer, but luckily, I have that help hit there, and he is swinging away. I think he wound up killing about 12 zombies, something like that. Definitely pretty cool. And unanswered, because of course he attacked the clan rats first, and then I wound up piling in afterwards. So that's a thing. And then basically down here, he wound up charging my poison wind mortar. And I was like, okay, good. He took the bait. He wound up doing that. I have a unit of 30 clan rats. If I wind up basically doing the same thing, and I wind up attacking first with my clan rats after the charge, then maybe I'm gonna kill at least half of this unit, stand fighting chance, and then maybe even envelop them, shoot them with the warp fire thrower, you know, do anything I can. And I wind up flopping so bad, even with the +1s to hit, even with the, oh man, it was such a flop. It seemed like it would have been good because, I mean, if you think about it, with a unit of 30, they're going to be hitting from, granted that they're using swords and shields, then they would get the +2. They would basically be hitting on 3s or 2s, just depending. And, you know, just wounding on 4s, no rend, but 1 damage apiece. Odds just were not in my favor for sure. So, he winds up swinging back, and he winds up killing, I think, like 11, and then I wind up taking like another 10, and... Or no, he... There we go. He winds up killing probably over 15. And then I wind up taking basically all of my battle shock, and they are gone. So, up here, I had my Vermin Lord come in, and also my Storm Vermin. So my Storm Vermin come in, and they start putting a pummeling on these zombies. I put 2 wind mortar shots into those zombies. I wind up getting, I believe, 6 zombies killed, with probably only 1 actually hitting. And it wound up really making it so that on turn 2, this zombie unit is not going to be there for much longer. So this is, of course, before the combat was finalized. This was just the charges. But, yeah, we have Nagash right there, the dire wolves up to the top right with a potential charge on the next turn, granted that I don't get the double. And I have my warlord just kind of hanging out in the center between it all to kind of try to bait the wolves, try to get them to overextend a little bit and maybe fail. But then also I have him there for support, just in case those, you know, Vargeist come up. Maybe it'd be advantageous. I have the ability to get in and out of combat, which I actually forgot about with the Storm Vermin, which would have been really cool eventually in this game. So, here we have after the combat, I wound up killing off 2 of the Vargeists. I wound up losing that whole unit of clan rats and a poison wind mortar. But I'm able to save one of my mortars. I'm not sure why it's tipped over right now. But I have another wind mortar, and also I have my warp fire thrower. So we go off to turn 3, and of course the undead wind up getting the turn. So he winds up charging in here. Of course he takes over the unit of 10 clan rats. I wiped out the unit of zombies, but one thing that I wasn't actually thinking was going to happen is he charged my Vermin Lord with Nagash. And because I didn't completely kill off the zombie unit yet, I couldn't pile in with my hell pit to fight Nagash. So unfortunately he wound up killing my Vermin Lord Deceiver, or Corruptor, sorry, the Vermin Lord Corruptor, which unfortunately didn't do much as far as magic. He wound up getting shut down. He wound up killing, like 15 zombies, but I mean, other than that, it's like, he didn't really do much. So, unfortunately, he was just about worthless in this game. But right now, I'm thinking, okay, my Vermin Lord did like a wound or two to Nagash, and maybe I'm gonna be able to get this done. So on my turn, I wind up charging in with the Hell Pit. I wind up charging in with my Storm Vermin, and oh man, it was definitely really crazy. He winds up wiping out all of the Storm Vermin, but I wind up getting him down to 4 wounds left. So at this point, I'm just like, oh man, I almost killed Nagash. I have almost completely full wounds on my... Hell Pit. And I'm thinking, oh man, if I'm able to get Nagash out of there, then I might actually be able to win this game. And sure enough, I remembered, one, that I could have taken my Storm Vermin out of combat. 2, I could have charged in my Warlord. And 3, hiding in my Storm Vermin was an assassin that I completely forgot to activate. Because when the assassin activates, it activates first at the very, very beginning of combat, regardless of whoever's turn it is. He's able to attack first. So, yeah, I kind of goofed. We had a couple people over, so of course I got a little forgetful, but... And also, whatever. Go on to turn 4, and of course the undead wind up getting the 4th turn. So, here we have that stalemate. He winds up moving Nagash out of combat, because he only had 4 wounds left. My Hell Pit was about to just get dirty on him. And he winds up teleporting out of combat, moving all these Vargeists in. Also, he moves in his Morghost Archai. I believe that's how you say it. So he makes his charge with his wolves. Coming up over that ridge, the Hell Pit is also enveloped. And, yeah. I'm thinking, I don't think the wolves will kill me. And I'm really hoping that the Hell Pit, if it does die, is able to come back, because that would be awesome. But, unfortunately, the Hell Pit's gone. The wolves don't kill my Warlord. And pretty much it's my turn now, where there's not really much else I can do. I have the Poison Wind Mortar, and then also I have my Warlord who's in combat. Something I forgot is that you can actually hop out of combat with the Warlord and then charge into combat the same turn. So if I could have done this, I could have potentially still charged into Nagash, and then also made a charge with, my Wind Mortar, or just shot a globe at Nagash, and I could have killed him. And it's just so crazy, because it's these little things that add up in the very, very end. But we decided that it's pretty much over for me. But since the wolves didn't kill my Warlord, and also I was complaining a little bit about the fact that I forgot about my assassin, we decided to just go ahead and go with the lore. Basically, the Vargeists are just tearing up and eating the heck out of the remains of the Hell Pit, so they're a little caught up. The wolves come up over the ridge, and the Warlord winds up basically just slashing a couple of them across the face, jumping over them, taking a nice little heroic stand on his rock, and the assassin, who failed to show himself, comes to save the day. Uses a bunch of smoke bombs, and basically is able to help Yitzkrae fade away into the burrows, away from death. So I had Nagash on the run, but also I couldn't really help the fact that, this is my general right here. So Nagash wound up basically just inserting his own dialogue, saying a bunch of really menacing, creepy, threatening things to me for destroying his monolith. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I'll see you next time, though. And we have turn 4, a victory for the undead. So Nagash, oh man, that was insane. That was absolutely insane. Especially at 1,500 points. Like, at 1,500 points, that's just absolutely insane. The amount of summoning that he had to do, and then it's just kind of like, I have to kill Nagash first, or else he's just going to summon a bunch of things. So, yeah, it's just definitely something to think about. Really interesting. So, we have the MVP. Of course, it's the Hell Pit, the Vermin Lord Corruptor, and the Storm Vermin. The MVP for Nagash, of course it's Nagash. Zombies. Zombies, zombies, zombies. Sure, I was able to wipe them out, but it took everything that I had to wipe them out. So, yeah, that was a lot. And then Vargeist, so deadly. Super fast, cavalry, flying. Man, you really can't get much better than that. And then once they start getting buffs for the ward saves and then like to wound and everything like that, like, oh man, they're intense. All right, y'all. Well, that was a test of a Nagash game. We are going to be playing another battle for the campaign here in the next few days. Basically, what it's going to be is it's going to be continuation of the campaign, either until Yitzkrae straight up dies, or I wind up actually killing Nagash. Who knows? So that'll probably wind up being the end of the campaign once we achieve those. But it's going to be a really fun narrative until either of those happen. Or who knows, maybe Yitzkrae will die next one. But thanks for watching, y'all. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know if we're doing anything wrong. Let us know if you would like us to do anything differently. And thanks for watching, y'all. Keep on wargaming.